picture, which brings me to the next topic, which I think most organizations are really hoping for, is this real portfolio perspective, because I find far too few companies really have a true, profound portfolio perspective, and you kind of addressed it with this 3-tier. There's a strategic perspective to what we're doing, right? There's a tactical perspective on business unit level or department level, and there's an operational. And I think far too many project managers in the past have kind of focused on that operational quality of project management. And if we want to be agile as an organization, we have to integrate all three. So does that kind of resonate with what you said?
Yeah, it does. And to just kind of, because this will probably be important for a lot of what we'll continue to discuss, to build sort of a mental model that we all have from this end-to-end flow perspective. It's when we've got an idea that comes through from a business stakeholder, a request from a customer, right? And how that idea goes from, yep, this is something we might want to do, to delivering value. And I think that what we've seen a lot in the Agile space is, for one, it's like checkbox Agile. It's like, well, we want to just, follow an adoption roadmap. We're going to deliver, a whole bunch of training, and, everybody's going to be doing Agile.
And there's 50 different certifications that you all can get.
Yeah. So we'll get into I'm sure we'll get into certifications, some of your questions. But then it's not about just delivering a project or delivering the next increment of work that we've done. It's that it's valuable, right? And that could be something that's customer facing value. It's new functionality that customers want, or to keep up with a competitor. It could be value in the form of, well, we're going to do something because we're in a regulated industry and it's going to keep us in compliance. It could be from a technical enablement standpoint. It's like, we've made some decisions, and we've taken some shortcuts over the years, and we have this process debt and technical debt and all these other forms of debt, and we need to get ourselves out of this situation. So it's taking a look at value delivery, and whether that's using some agile practices, it's using some value stream management practices. What's important is we're delivering value better, and the organization is better off for it.
So what you're basically saying with the value stream is, I've been preaching this for years, some of the most important things in a project happen before a project and definitely after project. And if you don't have the big picture, you're missing out.
Yeah. And so as we get into a little bit more on portfolio management, some of the things that we have in DA now that are just a very, very good option for companies to explore is taking a look at that portfolio backlog, right? So teams that have used Agile have used a work item type. Typically it's going to be stories, right? User stories and technical stories, and we'll have that in a product backlog, and that enables a lot of flexibility. And it also enables a progressive level of depth, right? We're not going to front load doing a bunch of work on requirements or things that maybe we're going to do, maybe we're not going to do, maybe they're going to change based on a little bit of the learning we're going to have. We're always just taking a look at the near term, relative near term, right? And making sure that work has sufficient clarity, and we understand what we're doing, and how we're going to then be able to, implement it. We don't see that in the upstream. We don't see that in the investment decision space, which is portfolio management. So to do that, we have to have a very similar approach to increments. And what we've introduced are value increments and innovation increments. Those are similar in a lot of ways to a project, but the difference is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to identify discrete value that can be done. We can get feedback on it. We can get it released. And we understand all that it takes to do that, right? If you think about most projects, right, and so some of what I've got in the Disciplined Agile leadership course and some of the other content that I'll maybe touch on today, is it's kind of, and this is a technique that goes back to a federal agency here in the U.S. that I spent many years working with. And it was about taking a look at what they have historically been doing. And if you take a look at a lot of projects, especially for organizations that go through like an annual budgeting and funding approach where you've got business cases or project charters or some mechanism to say, these are all the things that are up for competition and are going to be evaluated. And, if you're on a 12/31 calendar year end, you're typically going to see that in the October, time frame. And we're going to go through this event where we're going to make decisions of what we're doing in the next year. So stakeholders, for one, they typically want the same budget they had last year, if not more. And we're going to see projects that, yes, it might be for a particular product, and I'll talk from a digital product perspective, but it'll be like lots of different functionality aggregated together. There might be some stuff, Mark, as a customer that you would want to be using. I might be internal to the organization, and I've got a role where it's things that I want to do that is going to help us maybe sell more or be more, whatever, more effective. But it's all commingled into this big project. So what we try to do is try to say, let's identify discrete increments of value in a scope like that. And oftentimes,
which means you're bringing into play, and maybe this leads kind of into my next question.